Hi, it's Colleen again. Today we're going to cover the buyer's loyalty agreement. This agreement must be signed by the buyer, or buyers, I should say, in order to proceed before you take them out to see a house. So if you'd like to bring this up, again, this is the buyer's loyalty agreement. We first discussed the consumer guide the other day. It's a one-page document. This is not a contract. This is not a contract because the buyers will feel that this is. It is a written agreement between you and the buyers, agreeing allowing you to work for them as their agent, okay? So you're gonna start off, and it just introduces yourself. We're the Colleen Miklas team at the Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan. And right now we're gonna talk about part one. This is the term and scope of representation. This is where you're gonna put a time frame inside this empty box. One rule of thumb is you write offers, fill out any paperwork in real estate. A good rule of thumb is you always remember never to leave a blank open statement on any document, whether it be an NA or a dash or something. Just never leave a blank space on any document, just rule of thumb. So here we're gonna say that this agreement, let's just say today is January 31st. They're gonna date that at the bottom, and then you're gonna say, hey, I know you wanna move within 6 months, so by July 31st of 2024, we are going to have you under contract, okay? Obviously that can be adjusted, but it's actually making the buyers loyal to you, that through the end of January, you'll be able to work with them and you represent them as their agent, okay? It does state here that this agreement can be terminated at any time. As it states in the next sentence, the agent shall assist the buyer in locating properties for the buyer, which you will be by assigning them up to a portal. And the fact that the buyer acknowledges that any purchasers may seek similar parties and use their agent to represent them as a buyer. Remember, when you represent a buyer, whoever home they purchase, the seller's brokerage will pay the buyer's brokerage, okay? So you wanna make sure that you're clear in describing that. The property will be purchased as is condition. This kind of freaks a little bit about buyers out. Remember that your offer for the most of the time will be contingent on inspections and and financing. So being as is, you're still gonna have a home inspection and they're still going through the financing part to get their loan, okay? You can finish reading through here. The buyer agrees to investigate and make their due diligence inquiry about the condition and systems. That's going to be at the home inspection. And obviously to consult the inspectors and contractors to do so. So again, paragraph 1 is just about the time frame in which you're committed to working with the buyer and the buyer's committed to working with you. I personally don't like to work with buyers who have multiple agents, okay? Do you go to multiple doctors for the same problem? Do you go to multiple attorneys for the same problem? No, you use one. So I want loyalty to myself and loyalty to yourself as an agent. So making sure that this loyalty agreement is signed. That's why it's called the buyer loyalty agreement. And making sure that they work with you only. Okay, part 2 here talks about the obligations. Buyer agrees to work with you and the broker and the agent in all the inquiries. This agreement does not obligate the buyer to make an offer. So just because this is signed doesn't mean that they have to make an offer. It might be, I don't know, August 6th and they haven't found a house, okay? So by no means does this mean that they have to make an offer, because sometimes they haven't found the house yet. If during the term of this agreement, buyer purchases or exchanges the property, the buyer and agent will accept the commission paid by the listing brokerage. So like I said in point 1, that whoever house that they buy, that listing brokerage company will pay the buyer's agency's brokerage, okay? If the purchase property is not listed with a broker, for example, it's a for sale by owner, maybe it's a new construction, the broker and agent will attempt to negotiate a fee to be paid for by the owner of not less than, I normally write 3% in here. On average, commission across Northeast Ohio, you'll see is 3% off the first 100,000, 2% off the balance. That's for most homes underneath $500,000. Okay, but if by chance the buyer, okay, wants to purchase it for sale by owner and the seller says, I'm not paying you as a broker, okay, you can tack on that 3% onto the purchase price, so the seller then is paying you, but the buyer has given them money. Okay, so let me say this again. This is in the case of a for sale by owner where a seller says, I'm not paying a co-broke, but your buyers really want the house. So let's say it's a $100,000 house. And they said, well, we don't want to pay the 3%. And 3% of 100,000 is $3,000. So, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if I brought you 103, okay, the $3,000 would cover my fee, my brokerage fee. Would that be able to work for you? Well, why wouldn't it be? You just gave them an extra $3,000. They're going to get back to the buyer's broker, okay? This protects you on for sale by owners, and it also protects you on new construction. I'm going to give you a piece of advice. You're going to have buyers that are going to drive around on the weekend and pull into the model home. Everyone loves a model home, right? You walk in and they say, oh my God, it's Monday morning. Colleen, we went to Cahovan and had their model home open out in Streetsboro on Saturday and Sunday. It was so beautiful. You know, Susie and I came over. That's my sister, and we're going to buy a house. And, we just signed in. And thanks so much, but we don't need your help anymore. Boop, big red X, hello. We work with new construction, okay? So if by chance your buyers do go to new construction, say don't sign anything, because most of the time the realtor has to be present. And you do get paid on new construction. Okay, so again, we want to make sure that you're protected. Buyer agrees to pay and the broker in a retainer fee of, and that retainer fee could be, you know, like the $3,000 or the 3%. It all depends what price point you're looking at. But again, this paragraph is protecting you for sale by owners, new construction, and open houses, okay? You gotta have those discussions with your buyers. Hey, we were driving around and you know what, Sam, thanks so much, but Jim and I popped into this open house and we really liked it so much. I know you were so busy showing other houses, but the listing agent said we could just write an offer with them, so we did, and we bought the house. What? Strike number 2, okay? So new construction, you have to be there with your buyers. Number 2, for sale by owners, make sure you are getting paid, or the buyer will we can tack that onto this the list price. And number 3 is open houses. Make sure maybe you give them some cards. Say, hey guys, this weekend, you know, I know there's no open houses you want to see, but if by chance you're driving around and one pops up, here's a stack of my business cards. Go in, please, and let them know that Colleen Miklas is your agent, okay? So you want to make sure that you're protecting yourself, because it's happened to me, where they go by another house and, oh, thanks so much, but we don't need you anymore, okay? So the retainer fee is non-refundable, just like your commission, and it'll be credited against any commission at closing. We do have a $550 admin fee for the Colleen Miklas team, for buyers and for sellers, and that's part of their closing costs. Nothing that they have to come to the table with, okay? This agreement constitutes the entire agreement between all parties, and there's no other agreements or understandings between them, okay? The buyer is acknowledging that you gave them the consumer guide to agency, that's the first video you watched, okay, as a copy of this agreement. And at the bottom here, it says, we appreciate you allowing us to help you with your property purchase. If at any time you have a question, concern, comment, or suggestion, please contact either Colleen Miklas, who's the owner of the team. You're gonna put your name here. I'm the team leader. You're just gonna put team agent. We're a team. Here's my cell phone. You'll put your cell phone, okay? You will sign it, and obviously, if you sign it in .loop, it'll automatically put your date. Andrew Ginter is our principal broker here at Keller Williams. And then, of course, you're gonna have your buyer or buyers, if you have 2, sign this, and then their address and date, okay? People feel more confident to have a contract signed knowing that they're loyal to you. I can guarantee you if they have 3 realtors, not every realtor is doing this. So again, our first video that you went through is the consumer guide to agency, because most new agents will work with buyers before sellers. This will be the second form that you have to fill out. And this form will be done at the buyer's consult. When maybe it's a FaceTime, maybe it's on the phone, but really we like to pull them into the office, or I come to your home, because we are gonna talk about this form, okay? Your commitment, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, to me, Colleen Miklas, to work with you. And we're gonna go through what we talk about as representation, how we get paid, and again, this is a signed document. After this document is signed, I'm gonna then talk to you about the pre-approval process, about getting pre-approved from the bank, and then the needs and wants analysis, what you're looking for in a home, whether it be 3 bedrooms, bathrooms, basement type of home, garages, and all of that. So any questions with regards to this, you can contact me always. but this is the buyer loyalty agreement, video 2 in our training videos. When you're working with buyers, this must be signed and it must be required. I do audit files on Sunday, so I will make sure that all your buyers have this, and if not, I will come find you. Thank you.